My name is Zach, and I once believed that owning a home was the ultimate dream. Little did I know it would turn into a nightmare that would test my sanity. It all began when my wife, Emily, and I purchased a charming condo in a seemingly idyllic community. The neighborhood was picturesque, with manicured lawns and friendly neighbors. We were thrilled to start this new chapter in our lives. However, shortly after moving in, we received a notice from the Homeowners Association, HOA. They claimed our welcome mat was not in compliance with community standards. It seemed trivial, but we complied and replaced it. Weeks later, another notice arrived. This time it was about the color of our curtains, stating they were too bold and disrupted the uniformity of the building's appearance. We were baffled but decided to change them to avoid conflict. The final straw came when we were fined for having a small potted plant on our balcony. The HOA cited it as a safety hazard, even though other units had similar setups. Frustration boiled over, and we decided to attend the next HOA meeting to address these issues. At the meeting, we discovered that the HOA board was dominated by a few individuals who enforced arbitrary rules without considering residents' concerns. When we voiced our grievances, we were met with hostility and threats of further fines. Feeling trapped and powerless, Emily and I contemplated selling the condo. However, the HOA's stringent regulations and the negative atmosphere they created had already devalued properties in the community. We were stuck. Determined to reclaim our home and peace of mind, we began rallying other residents who had similar experiences. Together, we formed a coalition to challenge the HOA's authority and bring about fair governance. Our journey was fraught with challenges, but unity and perseverance led us to a hard-fought victory. The oppressive board members were replaced and new reasonable guidelines were established. Our community transformed into the haven we had initially envisioned. Reflecting on this ordeal, I realized that homeownership isn't just about possessing property. It's about fostering a community where everyone feels respected and heard. As our coalition gained momentum, we began to uncover unsettling truths about the HOA's leadership. The board members, particularly the president, Mr. Thompson, had been exploiting their positions for personal gain. They imposed arbitrary fines and enforced selective rules to target residents they personally disliked or from whom they sought financial advantage. One evening, Emily and I hosted a gathering at our condo to discuss our next steps. Neighbors shared their experiences, revealing a pattern of intimidation and manipulation by the HOA board. It became evident that our situation was not an isolated incident, but part of a broader scheme to control and profit from the residents. Determined to fight back, we pooled our resources to hire a legal advisor, Ms. Patel, who specialized in HOA disputes. She guided us in collecting evidence of the board's misconduct, including financial discrepancies and documented instances of harassment. Our goal was to present a united front and hold the board accountable for their actions. As we delved deeper, we discovered that Mr. Thompson had a history of unethical behavior in previous communities. This revelation strengthened our resolve to remove him and his cohorts from power. We organized a special meeting, rallying the majority of residents to attend and voice their concerns. The tension was palpable as the meeting commenced. Mr. Thompson attempted to dismiss our claims, but the overwhelming evidence and collective outcry left him cornered. Facing potential legal action and loss of credibility, he had no choice but to resign, along with several other complicit board members. With new leadership in place, transparency and fairness became the foundation of our HOA. The oppressive atmosphere lifted and a sense of community flourished. Emily and I felt a renewed sense of belonging, knowing that our perseverance had led to meaningful change. This experience taught us the power of unity and the importance of standing up against injustice. Our condo was no longer just a place to live, but a true home where every voice mattered. As the new HOA boards settled into their roles, our community experienced a refreshing wave of transparency and collaboration. Regular meetings were held where residents could voice their concerns and suggestions, fostering a sense of unity and trust. Emily and I felt a renewed sense of belonging, believing that the dark days were behind us. However, one evening, I received an anonymous letter slipped under our door. The note warned of lingering corruption within the HOA, hinting that some of the new board members had hidden agendas. Initially, I dismissed it as a prank or the work of someone disgruntled by the recent changes. But as weeks passed, subtle signs began to emerge. Certain maintenance projects were awarded to companies with personal ties to specific board members. Financial reports became less detailed, and requests for clarification were met with vague responses. Determined to protect our community from falling back into old patterns, I confided in Emily about my concerns. Together, we decided to discreetly investigate the allegations. We reached out to a few trusted neighbors, sharing our observations and forming a small group committed to uncovering the truth. Our group began by reviewing the HOA's financial records, cross-referencing contracts and payments. We discovered that a landscaping company recently hired at a premium rate was owned by the brother-in-law of the new treasurer, Ms. Davis. Additionally, a security service contract was awarded to a firm where the vice president, Mr. Allen, held a significant stake. Armed with this information, we knew confronting the board directly might lead to denial or retaliation. Instead, we sought legal counsel to understand the implications of such conflicts of interest. Our attorney advised that these actions constituted a breach of fiduciary duty, as board members are legally obligated to act in the community's best interests, avoiding personal gains from their positions. With legal guidance, we organized a special community meeting, ensuring all residents were informed of the situation. The turnout was overwhelming, reflecting the community's desire for accountability and integrity. During the meeting, we presented our findings, emphasizing the importance of ethical governance and the potential legal ramifications of the board's actions. The atmosphere was tense, with residents expressing feelings of betrayal and anger. Facing mounting pressure, Ms. Davis and Mr. Allen attempted to justify their decisions, claiming they acted in the community's best interest. However, the evidence of their conflicts of interest was undeniable. A motion was passed to hold a vote of no confidence, leading to their immediate removal from the board. This experience served as a stark reminder of the vigilance required to maintain a fair and transparent HOA. Our community emerged stronger, with renewed dedication to ethical leadership and the well-being of all residents. Emily and I, reflecting on the journey, felt a profound sense of accomplishment. We had not only protected our home, but had also played a pivotal role in fostering a community where trust and integrity prevailed. After the removal of Ms. Davis and Mr. Allen from the HOA board, our community experienced a period of relative calm and renewed trust. Emily and I continued to be actively involved, ensuring that the board operated transparently and in the best interests of all residents. One day I received a call from a neighbor, Mrs. Thompson, who expressed concerns about a recent decision to approve a costly renovation of the community clubhouse. She felt the decision was rushed and lacked sufficient input from the residents. Intrigued, I reviewed the meeting minutes and noticed that the proposal was introduced and approved in a single session, bypassing the usual process of community consultation. This deviation from protocol raised red flags. Emily and I decided to dig deeper. We discovered that the contractor awarded the renovation project, Elite Builders, had connections to the newly appointed board president, Mr. Reynolds. Specifically, Mr. Reynolds' cousin was a major stakeholder in the company. This revelation indicated a potential conflict of interest, as board members are expected to act in the community's best interest and avoid personal gains from their positions. Armed with this information, we approached Mr. Reynolds privately, hoping he would acknowledge the oversight and rectify the situation. However, he dismissed our concerns, insisting that Elite Builders was selected based on merit and competitive pricing. Unsatisfied with his response, we brought the issue to the attention of the community during the next HOA meeting. We presented our findings and emphasized the importance of transparency and adherence to ethical standards. The residents were understandably upset, feeling betrayed by the very individuals elected to serve their interests. A motion was passed to suspend the renovation project pending a thorough review and to investigate the board's decision-making processes. During the investigation, it became evident that Mr. Reynolds had failed to disclose his familial ties to elite builders, thereby violating the board's code of ethics. Facing mounting pressure, he resigned from his position. This incident served as a stark reminder of the need for vigilance and active participation in community affairs. Emily and I, along with other dedicated residents, continued to advocate for ethical governance, ensuring that our community remained a place where trust and integrity prevailed. In the ensuing months, our community flourished under the new HOA leadership. The atmosphere was collaborative, and residents felt their voices were genuinely heard. Emily and I continued to participate actively, cherishing the harmony that had been restored. However, tranquility was disrupted when we noticed a series of unauthorized modifications in the neighborhood. Several homes had undergone significant exterior changes without prior approval from the Architectural Review Committee, ARC, a subcommittee of the HOA responsible for maintaining aesthetic standards. Concerned about the potential impact on property values and community cohesion, I approached the ARC chairperson, Ms. Martinez, to inquire about these alterations. To my surprise, she was unaware of any approvals granted for the modifications in question. Determined to uncover the truth, Emily and I conducted a discreet investigation. We discovered that Mr. Johnson, a newly elected board member, had been approving these changes unilaterally, bypassing the established review process. Further probing revealed that Mr. Johnson owned a local construction company and had been offering discounted renovation services to residents in exchange for their support in future board elections. This blatant conflict of interest not only violated our community's governance policies, but also threatened the integrity of the HOA. We knew immediate action was necessary to preserve the trust and harmony we had worked so hard to rebuild. We convened an emergency HOA meeting, presenting our findings to the community. Emotions ran high as residents expressed feelings of betrayal and anger toward Mr. Johnson's unethical conduct. Recognizing the severity of his actions, the board voted unanimously to remove Mr. Johnson from his position and nullify the unauthorized approvals. This incident served as a sobering reminder of the vigilance required to maintain ethical governance within our HOA. It reinforced the importance of transparency, adherence to established procedures, and the need for continuous oversight to prevent conflicts of interest. Emily and I remain committed to fostering a community built on trust, accountability, and mutual respect, ensuring that our neighborhood would continue to thrive. In the aftermath of Mr. Johnson's removal from the HOA board due to his unethical actions, our community faced a period of reflection and rebuilding. The series of conflicts had taken a toll on trust among residents, but it also ignited a collective determination to foster a more transparent and accountable environment. Recognizing the need for systemic change, a group of dedicated homeowners, including Emily and me, proposed the establishment of an ethics committee. This committee would be responsible for overseeing board activities, ensuring compliance with governing documents, and addressing any potential conflicts of interest proactively. The proposal was met with overwhelming support. Elections were held, and a diverse group of residents, bringing various professional backgrounds and perspectives, formed the inaugural Ethics Committee. Their first initiative was to draft a comprehensive code of conduct for board members, outlining expectations regarding transparency, decision-making processes, and the handling of conflicts of interest. To further promote community engagement, monthly town hall meetings were introduced, providing a platform for residents to voice concerns, suggest improvements, and stay informed about ongoing projects. These meetings fostered open communication and allowed the board to receive direct feedback from the community. Over time, these measures led to a cultural shift within our HOA. Board members became more mindful of their responsibilities, and residents felt more connected and invested in the community's well-being. The collaborative atmosphere resulted in well-maintained common areas, successful community events, and a renewed sense of pride among homeowners. Reflecting on our journey, I realized that the challenges we faced had ultimately strengthened our community. By confronting issues head-on and implementing structures to promote ethical governance, we created a neighborhood where trust and cooperation thrived. Emily and I took comfort in knowing that our efforts contributed to building a resilient and harmonious community, a place we were proud to call home.